Hello everyone, this is Soulful Talks podcast with Margo Sealskin Music. We are in Tampa and USA. Today I invited my new friend Selena.
Nice to meet y'all.
Yeah, Selena, would you like to say something first to present yourself?
Sure. Well, my name is Selena Ferrer, and I am a visual artist and performance artist here in Tampa Bay, Florida. It is such a pleasure to meet with you, Margo.
Yeah,
Thank you
same.
for having me for this podcast, because it's just nice to talk out in the open doors and feel like friends, and community is a big part of what I do. So having conversations is a priority. It always is. Focused conversations, intentional conversations are a big part of what I do.
Cool. I already knew you through Instagram a little bit, but it's curious that knowing you more and looking kind of like deeper into different things you share, like visual projects and like dance, vision, color, styling, painting, some kind of energy, a certain way of dynamics and expression you put into whatever you do, right? Mm-hmm. It's all has opened to me personally in a new spectrum, because I think like from outside, not really knowing you, which I feel is always the case with creators when we don't know them personally, we kind of like miss out a big part of what we can connect with to the art, you know. Yeah. So as I know you more closer now, I can with open these curtains deeper, like, and see more into the actual essence of what you're doing, because I should say it's definitely very particular, like very author kind of style. It's not like everyone can really read into it, and it's not always very easy to read into many things you're transmitting. So for me it was like, oh, I understand what it's doing. Like some works I've been looking through, especially the ones which have a lot of crazy color, texture, and form play and style mix. I was feeling how through particularly your interpretation, how it's just taking me onto a different perception, withdrawing the limits, and kind of like invites and inspires a lot to like not limit yourself and to really like free yourself so much. I feel you as a very free woman in a way you express yourself.
Thank you. You know, if what you feel is freedom from me, then you have it in you, and that means that the art and the conversation is doing its job. I think movement is so important. A lot of people have told me they don't really understand the context of my work. I remind people I do a lot of surrealistic practices, illusionistic, like things that are centered around movement and your optical perception of the world. As long as my art can move people, if it moved you, then that's what matters most, because I think that as a visual artist, there's a lot of times I've felt limited in my use of words, limited in my use of language, and in being raised in a different part of the country than others and getting my art across that way to people. And
you're Puerto Rican.
Yeah, constantly. I meet people even locally that we speak different languages, or art has been always an outlet of expression because it's been universally designed and has guided me in how I navigate this world. If I don't look like you, if I don't speak like you, we don't understand. However, art is that. There's power in that. So it flatters me that you recognize how in different art forms, you still feel something from me and my artworks. And that's what I want for anybody who comes into my world, is wanting to, like, the desire to create, period. Like, imagination, the desire to create, period, is enough to keep you connecting with real audiences and the real world to support you in your artistry. You know?
Like,
Is that, I want to know if that sounds clear, if I'm making it clear.
Period. What do you mean by period? Like the time?
Punto. Like, I think sometimes I work on doing a variety of arts. Not
like,
to
like you mean seasons? Yeah.
Yes, different art forms,
Okay,
dance, visual arts, theater, wardrobe, and blending worlds is the scope of my art and my services and what I do. It is like my service is called that I can adapt through different art forms because I'm there to study.
Yeah. Would you say that this is somehow inspired mostly from your own experience navigating your way to how you want to express what you are here for, why you came here for? Or it also isn't kind of inspired somehow by the ambience of Tampa or Florida?
I think both. I think all of those components have made me the artist I am today. I think the humility and the patience of being an artist is knowing that you are not making art without the acknowledgement of everyone around you and your surroundings and what goes into your outlet of expression, your portal of expression. It is always directly grabbed from my surroundings. So when I came to a pool of artistry, mid-season of my life, early 20s, I had moved states, I had moved here to Tampa, Florida. The art culture here completely flipped my career focuses, how I was developing as an artist, having mentorship, having studios, actual communities that were focused on the arts. I've had that experience here in Tampa, Florida. And I'm blessed because of it, but there's always work to do. There's always work to do. And I think for me, what I want to get across to people is to never give up, because you have to keep on adapting to your surroundings. You have to keep searching. And you have to, in order to have that search, you have to connect with it. You have to do something that is priceless of sorts. People think that you have to have a certain wage. What is priceless is your search, I think, as an artist. So I found that here. I found that here in Tampa. I found it here connecting with you, how the universe works in bringing my friends to help me tell stories, to work on other stories. That is it's so prominent in its existence, the absolute support that you can get from a city that is integrated. You have to know your people. I think I'm in the point in my life where I'm ready to be of service, but I have to spend that time looking for the people who need it too. That's what I feel is so important. And if you have that in your craft, you will amount to limitless areas, because you have to look past yourself.
Yeah, that's not an easy thing for artists to find your niche. Sometimes it just grows naturally around you when you're expressing yourself without boundaries, so to say, without thinking, oh, who's gonna understand this, or who is this for?
Yes.
You're just channeling your art, whatever you do, your music, and the community somehow grows through time. There are different ways, I'm sure, to face that thing, that process, but at the same time, it's just, I guess, the more you give freely, the more you have the chance to meet those people organically. But yeah.
And it's higher the risk. It's higher the risk. You have to take lots of risks, lots of chances. You have to believe in the vertical. pathway, you have to have freedom from within before you start envisioning freedom in front of you.
What is like for you? Where did it start for you? Your journey from where does it come from? Like if we peel off all these layers of thinking how artists should and whatnot.
Yeah.
But like, where is the origin?
Okay. I can always start the origin of my parents, my raisings, starting in Puerto Rico, growing up, visiting my family there, and having the influences of music in my house, the influences of art in my house, the influences of food in my house. How I navigate love is so family oriented. It comes out in my work. And I think that I've always equated my work to be like, it doesn't have to have a place of origin, but if I come and talk to you, then my artwork then has substance of where it's from, you know? It's like, I think art is about sharing, and I had that from my early raising and my family's getting together for music, around holidays, having meals together, getting to do dances together. All of that comes into how I express now, and yeah, it's something I never want to lose. And I take a lot of risks in wanting to spread that to the world, because it is something that people are not always so open to let go of their body, let go of where they came from, and to enter an expression that is more universal, that it is more from a soulful level. It's a lot of soul comes in where I think my raisings are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say, okay. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people who do freestyle dancing and authentic dancing, like that kind of, I think this is the kind of thing I think you're doing, apart from bringing in some theatrical part, right? But at the same time, your way, I think it's also unique. So I feel through like your dances, they're all very different, but there is always this kind of very interesting energy that comes through it. Very like, how would you describe it? What do you feel when you're channeling that? What comes through you, or how you?
That's a good question.
What's going on there?
That's a good question. I say my art is very gestural. Like gestural from your figure, and just focusing on the essence of movement and a heightened expression. I think my work is kind of abstract, but how I connect with it in my community is very prominent in street dance. And street dance, what it's built on is faith, and built on belief, and built on abstract ways of thinking to get through hard times, to celebrate when people didn't want you to celebrate, you know? Like, that is what keeps me, I think, rooted in my work being for street dance. It could be for actress or improvisation. It could work as movements that are to ignite conversation, to create emotion in a room when there's no emotion. There is like a lot of ways I think my dance comes in from my painting background and theatrics, and encapsulating a character and completely changing your aura, or to connecting with people that are doing ceremonial dancing, that are doing celebration dances. Like, I feel my avenues kind of like blend both.
But how does this come? I mean, how does this happen to you? Like, how do you internally connect to now I will do this, and now I feel like that? Well, like, how does this come from your nature? Why are you doing this? Why is that like, and how is that how do you connect to that moment of, I want to shift the energy like this or like that?
I think it's just when I want to be honest with myself, when I just want to be honest with like how, if this is the season I'm in that is bringing me this itch and this desire to move in this way, I will then follow it and document it, and being vulnerable and documenting that is, it's taken me years, you know, but now to this point in life, I feel as though I will go based on study, and I'll meditate with it and bring it into my source, breathe on it, sleep on it, recover from it, and then go and take on a different dance. So I feel as though I need to have intimate moments with whatever style I feel like you offer a donation, you are giving that thing your attention. You know, you give that your attention, it will be ingrained in you. I think the act of just moving in general has made me a versatile dancer, because I think like I want you to know movement doesn't have to always be branded. You can just move because you can, and it's good for your body. Like I wanted to be a personal trainer before I wanted to be an artist. Like I was really about, all right, we have to connect with each other if we're gonna push each other to have the attention on our impulse of creation, our imagination, to the childlike part of wanting, I want to do this, I want to do that. Can I blend them both? It's very curious, my dancing. So that's why I think it can come out abstract, it can come out emotional, nonverbal, all of these things,
Are there any challenges you face in the process of sharing art, making art?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know everyone does, but
yeah. But I think it's I think you have to be your own best friend, and sometimes you're like, tell yourself, it's chill. You tried this movement, maybe you didn't feel so confident in it. How long do you want to spend with it before you take out the perfectionism and you're holding this from the world?
Totally.
That have constant ebbs and flows of that.
I agree here totally. I'm like, my perfectionist is pretty dead.
Well, there is times to meditate on your work, and then there's times where you have to release it.
And how
you have to release it.
What would you say is in the core of your whole tree of projects?
Imagination. Innovation. It is sensory, it is rhythm, it is movement, it is universal, it is something that makes people feel, makes them feel human, makes them feel united, makes them feel connected, makes them feel seen. Makes them feel seen.
Makes them feel seen. Open up that phrase more.
I think when you can see others and see that they want to see you, there is so much power.
True self-expression.
That you feel in your journey to when you're not seen. And I think that's a conversation you have to have vertically, internally, and that's a conversation that you need to have through the kind of life you want to live, the people you want to see, and the people you want to, have in your life to help flourish a collective. Like, there's so much power and freedom. It is not to be constricted. It is not to be oppressed. It is not to be judged. It is not to be anything that separates you. You will feel this in your life. You will feel that in your life.
How do you feel your art is helping people become seen as well, or make a step to be seen?
I think the level of vulnerability to study different identities to blend in your voice and to communicate to others. I do it through different colors of my face. I do it to speak to different communities. I change form, even though I'm a Puerto Rican, brown-skinned girl, I speak to communities that have brown-skinned girls. I'm talking to communities that have sensory, challenges that they need to feel through color. Like, those are the audiences I need to also speak to. So I paint my face, I get into different characters. I want it to be playful. I think my work is a lot in the idea of imagination and innovation, and it's a threshold of people letting go of class, letting go of identity, letting go of things that are the attachments. I think people have to really be open, and that's what I always want my work to be. I want it to be something that is like fun.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're at your most free state.
Yeah, that's great. I like that. I like that part.
And it reaches everyone. It reaches everyone. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to have limitations. I could be a different Selena. I could be a different 3D character in 5, 10, 15 years. This moment will last. And whoever I change into, that will be the other timeless character of that moment. And it'll be out in the world. It'll be out in the world for people to really bring in identity, to bring it into an outlet of healing, not an outlet of destruction. Dance is very communicative. Dance is a very form. When you incorporate movement and you keep language at a certain threshold, there is so much to be seen. And how I connect with you, eyes to eyes, human anatomy to human anatomy. We're not different. We're not speaking, we're in movement, we're connecting, we sense each other, we have all the information we need. And people sometimes, I think, they don't have that connection with being boundless and speaking without their words. To getting around this world through presence, through our audio, through our visual, through our tactile.
That reminds me of the light language expression. Well,
yes?
you know light language.
No.
It's actually a pretty timeless thing. It's not like some new trend or anything.
Okay.
It's an expression. It's also called glossolalia, and it's an expression through a form of sound, but it's including freedom of words when you perceive the flow of energy that comes through you, or when you're transmitting some kind of energy or message. You, instead of feeling, instead of using words or just a melody, you feel certain sounds and choose them. It's like a moment of pure channeling that you disconnect and you feel sounds, words, and then every vibration, every sound has a more wide spectrum of influence and sensation rather than just the word or like a closed form, you know? So this is very close to the free dance and this message you were just transmitting about innovating, about expanding limits through very playful and very aesthetically unusual, like through your own vision, right? It's like you see something that's nobody expects to see, you know, and you express it. And then like, it's not a standardized message, you know, it's not some kind of a cliche thing. It's very crazy in a good way, you know. And that I think brings a lot of freedom as well.
All right.
Yeah, that was
nice.
Yeah, I think we could talk endlessly more about more things.
Yeah, I could talk here all day.
I see.
Thank you so much,
you.
Margo.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank
Me
you.
too, yeah, thank you.
All right.
See you in the next episode. This was Soulful Talks with Margo, Sealskin Music, and Selena Ferrer. You can check out her work, explore and reach out and let us know how this was, what it made you think of, what inspired you. Thank you for tuning in.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.